Good morning, Keith Jones.
Good morning, Rick, man. I was just thinking and commenting before we got, started the recording of this show, which was, I say it all the time, man, I'm just so grateful to you. And what I think is the way that I have begun to live my life, and it really shows up when I am, I'm reminded of it when I'm with you and some other folks in my life. And what I mean by what I'm reminded of is that I'm always happy to see you, and I'm always present. Whenever I get an opportunity to connect with you, whether it's through email, a text message, a phone call, or these opportunities right now to do a podcast, I feel with so much joy. And I think that's because I am not intentionally doing this, but on some level, I treat each one of these experiences as if, it may be the last time we will ever get a chance to connect. And I think that's just being, more conscious and present to this moment. And with the practice, I find that I treat more and more moments like that, as opposed to a means to an end or to get somewhere. And man, I just want to thank you, man, because my gratitude threshold is low. And so what that does is it reveals so much more of life to be grateful for. And I'm able to take more in. And I just want to thank you for being a blessing in my life.
Well, gosh, Keith, you're welcome, but keep in mind that it's all you. It's all you. The way that you approach life, the way each of us approaches life, is a function of how happy we are and how solid we are in our own core values about gratitude and compassion and service and letting things flow and detaching from negative outcomes and being mindful and not judging everything, including ourselves and every moment and every other person on the planet. I think when you get rid of that judgment, and it's a struggle every day, but what you're talking about really is approaching another human being in a way where you don't feel any need to have any judgment and you just let it go. And that's that kind of relationship. And I have that with you from my end as well. That kind of relationship is precious and rare, but it can be universal. You're that way with everyone. And I think what happens is that people are excited to be around someone like that and they want more of it. The trick is that you've got to do the work on becoming the kind of person that you want to become without the judging before you can actually experience what that's like, to actually live it and to not have this crushing ulterior motive or this ego-driven behavior to make yourself look good. It just doesn't, it falls away, right?
Right. Maybe that's the title of our show, man. We never know what we're going to talk about, but maybe that's it. It's like, how to live it, and it being, a conscious life. So
that's great.
So let's kind of, I think you touched on it, Rick, if you can just expand a little bit more about how do you live a conscious life? And early off camera, you said, you got to do the work. So expound on that a bit.
I think the hardest thing for most humans to do, certainly was for me, still is, I still struggle with this, is to be in the moment and to focus on what my highest and best self is, whatever that is for you, whatever your highest and best representation of who you can possibly be in your head is, how you want to be. Man, I'd love to be like Keith. I'd love to react the way he does with this kind of thing. I'd love to be able to put these problems aside. I don't want to be judging other people. Whatever those things are that you're working on, those things have to take over and become such a representation of your higher self that when you key into what it is that you want to be as a higher person, it's right there at your fingertips. So number one, it's identifying where you want to go. And number two, the highest level of consciousness, I think, is to be mindful. And to be mindful is basically two things. It's just two things. They're hard, but there's just two things to it. One is to be present in the moment with nothing added. Nothing added. By that I mean there's no stimulants, there's no baggage of emotion. You're just being. You're just being at like level zero. That's number one. and to experience it all, to notice the small things, to accept what is out there, what's happening in the moment, to look at whatever it is. And the second thing, and this is the harder of the two, the second thing is to not judge it, to not say that it's good, to not say that it's bad. And if you could just practice doing that for maybe 30 seconds, I'm going to just sit here, be mindful of everything that's happening right now, and I'm not going to judge it, and I'm not going to add anything to it. My baggage about what I have to do, the bad thing my wife just said to me this morning that's unfair and I hate it, the fact that I didn't get a raise. I mean, whatever your litany of horror things are, out, just be, okay? Just be, 30 seconds, just be, don't judge, and see what that feels like. That is, to me, the highest level of consciousness. You can't go around doing that all day. It's impossible. But once you get there and you get a flavor of it, man, it's easy to bring it up. It's easier to bring it up. And I think it makes you more effective, more loving, more peaceful, and more understanding of other people and compassionate, which is really, to me, compassion is a function of recognizing every human's interconnectedness with the other. Anyway, that's all. I mean, I still study it. I don't know. I can just tell you that from my experience, that highest consciousness has to do with being present in the moment without judging.
Yeah, Rick, I agree with everything that you said, man. It's, I don't know, you said, how can I respond, or like Keith does, and things like that. And like you, I don't always get it. I don't always nail it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I stumble along the way.
Of course, we all do.
Yeah.
Yes.
And with each stumble, though, I don't see it as a problem. I see it as an opportunity to be like, oh, okay, I stumbled there. Okay, that was a fastball. I thought they were going to throw. I thought they were going to throw a changeup. It's a fastball.
Yeah, that's right.
So okay, I'm sitting fastball here now. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm sitting changeup. I'm aware of. Okay, they got different pitches. Okay, great. And so whatever life throws at me, man, I've been taking a lot of reps, man. I've been taking a lot of cuts, a lot of swings at it, but I made it about practice. And a lot of it has been, once I started to get some glimpses of being present and being conscious, I would notice people in my life respond to things a different way. Or I would notice a little peacefulness. And these instances were infrequent, because I was so, fueled and consumed by my own narrative and chatter and my life plan that was completely achievement oriented and judging other people. But every once in a while, I get a little peace. And it was through that peace that the clouds would part just enough for me to see other people that were responding in a very different way. And I started to say, like, I want to have that.
Yes.
Okay, like the big house, the car, on the golf course and all that stuff. I know I can get that. Like I can get that, but that's not really what I want. What I want is that. How do I get that kind of peacefulness? And if you got both, cool. If you only have the peace, great. And so I wanted that, and I started looking at people, and I knew for me, and I asked some questions, and what's amazing, when you ask questions of people that are conscious and are peaceful, the ego, when they tell you what they do, the ego, at least my ego, made it sound like this is a riddle and it's impossible to do that. like to get there, you just got to do the work. Okay, duh. I know I got to do the work. What is the work? The mind wants steps. Okay, if I do these 5 steps, I'll be there, right?
Yeah.
And then it gets another answer don't want to do. Okay, so after I do that, what do I do that? You do it again. Oh, wait, okay, I got that. And then what do? You do it again. Wait, I said I got it. You do it again. How long do I do this? For the rest of your life. Like, what? Yeah. And people and I act like I can't do that. Oh, but this other thing that you're doing, to where you're judging, you're reacting, you are suffering, you'd rather do that for the rest of your life. Okay. Like you can do one or the other.
That's one way to do it.
You see, that's one way. This one brings you no peace, no peace. The other one brings you peace. So if
Yeah.
you're gonna do one or the other the rest of your life, why not choose the one that's going to make you better? Like, why not choose that one? You know,
Yeah.
and then once I accepted that this is going to be a lifelong journey, what I didn't know was that the journey was going to be enjoyable along the way. I
Oh.
thought the journey was going to be arduous and it was just going to be, I'm just going to keep getting beat up and getting up and beat up and getting up. No, the only thing that gets beat up is my ego. What keeps expanding is my consciousness. So even when the ego is taking its lumps because I'm judging or attached to the way things should be, or my expectations aren't met, even those stings and bruises don't hurt as much because my consciousness is there to provide that salve, you know, to administer first
Oh, yeah.
to my heart. And then I get up and I'm more resilient. And then I get up and I'm like, I'm built for this.
Mm.
And I just started to just approach it like my job, man. And then there was this really not just a small opening, but this bigger opening. And the bigger opening became, this is how I want to live. And I'm going to make this the main thing in my life. And from this core declaration, from this point, I'm going to experience life on another level I never have. And I'm going to stay committed to it. Because if I want my relationships to flourish and to be just amazing, if I want my experience of life to be filled with joy and peace, this has to be happening. If I want to be the best parent I can be, the best work colleague, the best human being, it has to start from here. And once I made that the main thing, man, it just became like, let's go to work, man. Like, I mean, like you see athletes and people that love to practice. I mean, they get joy from practicing. This is the turning point for me with this path. Is I got to the point to where everything that happened, I was fine with. And you said it earlier, there's no good, there's no bad. It's just what's so. And that's what happened. Whatever showed up, I was like, oh, cool, this is the practice, let's go. Oh man, like what? I get to expand my consciousness, my capacity to be peaceful and loving. Like bring it. I just gotta negotiate this obstacle of not getting this job promotion, of my ego telling me that you're not valued. I just gotta get over this. Oh, a divorce? Oh, I can do that. Like whatever it is, like whatever shows, and do it peacefully and with grace, I can do that. And I just made that the thing, man. And so I think what has happened with me, all those things have contributed to, you know, living a conscious life. And before you know it, I started to respond to things differently. When somebody says or does something, I choose not to defend or explain. It seems easy, and it is a bear for the ego, because all it wants to do is explain, defend, justify. And I'm just not doing that, man. It causes suffering. Oh, you believe that? Okay, it's okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
I value peace more, you know, and just keep going with that, man. So I thank you so much for the compliments, man. You've been a huge example for me over the 12, 13 years that we've known each other. And I can't say enough about how grateful I am for you. It's made like all the difference in my world, just seeing you. And I think you said it earlier too, Rick, which was, or off camera, which was, you'll see examples around you and you'll read books and listen to podcasts, you know, with people that are, you know, examples and showing you the way, but you got to do the work yourself. No one can do it for you. You want to close us out?
Oh, I can't. Keith, that was beautiful. You said it. I love you. It was a heartfelt, vulnerable series of observations that are so true. Teachers are a wonderful thing to have in life, and you and I have had our share of great ones. And everybody has to find their own way of being in a way that makes them peaceful and part of the overall whole that makes us successful and happy human beings. And we're all interconnected. But that personal way is the personal way that requires the work. And first you have to decide that you want to do it, and then commit to it, and then get ready for some amazing revelations.
Yeah, 100%, Rick. I love you, man.
I love you too, buddy. Adios.
Adios.